Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Now that we're in a new month, I'm starting a new focus. If you're following me on Instagram, you know that April was my mental clarity month, and I focused on building habits around improving mental clarity, moving away from brain fog, which was amazing and I think really helpful for a lot of people. So I've decided I want to focus on digestion for the month of May, and I'm going to do a series of lives and share some of my insights and my personal journey with digestive health and improving my own digestion and like the way my tummy is feeling, keeping it happy and healthy. Has been a long journey for me, and I remember back when I was at university I had some pretty severe tummy pains and went through some not so fun times with just discomfort and issues with my digestion. And what I learned was that yes, it's a lot to do with our diet and what we choose to consume food and drink wise, and then it's also everything to do with our environment, the way we live, our lifestyle, and our stress levels and our mood. So it sort of follows on quite nicely from talking about mental clarity and making sure that we're the happiest and healthiest we can be with our mind, and also our mind and our moods severely affect our body. It's actually amazing how they're connected. And so through the series of lives and information for May, I'm going to talk about various areas which I'll touch on. And hopefully you can get something out of it. And I also have a resource for you, which I'll talk a little bit more about towards the end of this live. So firstly, to become aware of what this thing of digestion is before we even talk about improving it, and signs of maybe having an unhappy digestive system is having actual like physical symptoms and issues such as bloating, gas and diarrhea, and it's embarrassing, and we all know like it's no fun to have, and what I've sort of realized after my own journey and talking to a lot of you is that it's a big issue, and we certainly don't have to feel that way. So there are ways around that to improve. And other signs is, food sensitivity, which is sort of built into that. Eating certain foods really react with you in different ways. Also experiencing things like mood swings, irritability, having skin problems, whether that's acne or eczema, things like that, poor concentration and brain fog. So those are all ways that our digestive system can affect us in our day-to-day life, and also maybe signs that things need to be looked at. And then it's important because like having a healthy digestive system is important because it's uncomfortable. As I said, it can be embarrassing and it can be disruptive to our day-to-day lives. It's also draining our energy. To have an unbalanced system or unhealthy system drains our mind of energy from our mind thinking about it, but also our body's working extra hard because of the inflammation in our body. And then again, our skin, and then our immunity system as well is struggling and working pretty hard to keep us well, but it can take a toll on that, and then also bloating, and that can be a physical sort of thing that we feel maybe that we've put on weight, but actually we just have a lot more bloating around our abdomen area. And then this is the bit where I sort of want to be able to help the next part. So there's a lot of reasons why these might be the case, and I want to go into what I discovered for me once I started to make some changes, what really helped. And firstly, as I mentioned, food and drink, and being aware of certain types of food that is not, that our bodies aren't that happy with. For me, I discovered that I had some intolerances. Gluten's a really common one, and then there's dairy, sugar, things like caffeine. And I'll go into that in more detail, and also how to prepare our food in a way that helps our digestive system to process it more comfortably, and also other things that you can have to help boost your digestive system and keep it really happy and healthy. And then, as I mentioned, the lifestyle and how we are rushing about, eating at our desk, all those types of things really play on a lot of how our physical health is. And our digestion's one thing that will give us little indicators of what's really going on in our system. And then our stress and mood. So that's really looking after our mental health and being aware of that mind-body connection. And so just on the back of the food and drink thing mainly, but generally I think it's important to, if this is an area that you feel like you're struggling with and you need to bring your attention to what your digestive system is doing and maybe what your symptoms are and things, to one really awesome proactive way of doing this is actually starting to track. It's like a food journal, if you like. So I've created a really basic sort of food journaling resource, really, that you could either use online, you can do it on your phone, or get your own journal to do that. So the purpose of that is to track your meals, track your mood, track your physical symptoms, and these various prompts. And you can do that each day, and then you can start to bring awareness to what is going on with your body. And maybe it's easy to sort of trick yourself into thinking, oh no, I actually have been avoiding all the foods that I know disturb it. But then once you start to write it down, things start to become quite clear. And it's a good way to bring that awareness and also accountability as well. You may or may not want to share it with me. I'm happy to talk about it with you. But if you would like that resource, please you can send me a private message, comment below. And that way we can hopefully start to bring that focus in moving towards, firstly, awareness of how your body's going and how it's if it's happy and healthy, or maybe if there are certain things that you need to make some changes with as well. And then I can talk about that throughout the month. So I hope this is helpful. Send me a message if you want to hear anything more, or ask me any questions at all. This is a big topic that's very dear to me. So thank you, and I look forward to the month.